Hi students, good morning to everyone. Here you are going to learn about software development process model, second methodology, which is prototyping model, right? The first waterfall model is over in the previous sessions. Therefore, we go to the next topic, next methodology, which is prototyping model. What is prototype? It is used to understand the system as possible as clearly understand the system. This methodology is focused to develop a system quickly. Here the client involved throughout the development of the system. Therefore, the user, the client can feel the actual system. It also used some quality control activities to develop a new software, that are designing, coding, testing, etc. You can be look at on the screen. A prototype is a methodology to develop a new system or a part of the system that develop quickly to check the customer requirements or feasibility of some design decisions. So here the requirements gathered from the user and immediately and quickly a design will be built and it get the feedback what the user can feel. So a prototype is useful when a customer or a developer it not sure, they don't is not sure of the requirement. It is clear a prototype model is useful when the customer needs is improper, is ununderstandable. Understand? So when that situation, the prototyping model is helpful. In the prototyping, the client is involved throughout the development of the process, which increase the user friendliness of the client and acceptance of the final implementations. Here the clients or user is involved throughout the project from the beginning to end of the project. It's involved in all the phases. Therefore, it increases the user friendliness. However, the user can be stated the requirement during the development of the project. It lead to increase the friendliness of the system, right? See the diagram. The first one is an established prototype objectives. During this phase, the data are gathered from the developer, the user. The second one, the functionality. Define the prototype and functionality. It is not care about the data. It is develop the project based on the data, whether it is a 50% or a 60% or a 30%, whatever it have, based on the data the software is developed, the software is designed. After it develop prototype, which is it return the course and executable prototype. Evaluate prototype, then it asks the feedback from the user, what you want, what we have to be included in the system. So the developer is free hand, he can be include the user wants when they demand. Here some quality control activities are specified to develop a system. Similarly, the process, the prototype model, which is not exemption from this. First we have to be discussed one by one. Established objectives. The objective of the prototype should be made explicit from the start of the process. Is it to validate system requirements or demonstrate feasibility? In the objectives, it gather the data and it demonstrate the systems, how it is working, what we have to be include. So it is demonstrate the functionality of the system as well as how it is working, how it interact with the user. The second point which say define the prototype functionality, decide what are the inputs and expected outputs from your prototype to reduce the prototyping cost and accelerate the delivery schedule. You may ignore some functionality such as response time and memory utilizations unless they are relevant to the objective of the prototype. However, during the demonstrations, it gets the feedback, or after the demonstrate, the developer get the feedback from the user, what the user wants, what the developer have to be included in the system. So it is a kind of omission types of errors, right? So the developer include the user needs, the demands of the user that are to be included in the system. So this phase is considered to include the system requirements, the user demands. The third point which said develop the prototype, the initial prototype is developed that include only user interface. The system is interface with the user, right? So demonstrate the system after it get the feedback and this the requirements, the demand of the user, the needs of the user are to be recorded. After it is develop the system, it is written the source code. The last one which says evaluate the prototype. Once the user are trained to use the prototype, they then discover the requirement errors. Using the feedback, both the specifications and the prototype can be improved. If changes are introduced, then repeated the steps 3 and 4 may be needed. So here a prototype model is very helpful when that have no time to, or when that have very less time to construct a project, or the user does not have a requirement, the user is not clear the requirement. So when that all this situation, the prototype model is be helpful, right? If the user have clear requirements, the needs, he understand the needs, requirements and the demands, then it go to the waterfall model. Suppose if the user does not have needs, does not have requirements, it is not clearly understand the demands of the user, the system needs. So when that situation, the prototype model is an helpful and it demonstrate the system and it get the feedback from the user. After this feedback, after this requirement the user needs are included in the system, right, then it go to the test phase. Okay, we come to the point. What are the advantages are there in the prototype model? It reduces unnecessary work. However, many works are to be avoided. So numbers of testing, numbers of the designing and the design test, source code test, and requirement gathering. So these times and the cost are to be saved because of it reduce unnecessary work, because of the users are directly involved during the development of the system from the beginning to end. The second one, it allow yearly to stop of unsuccessful project, right? So the developer can understand and the user is also we can understand whether it is satisfied to them or not. If it is not satisfied, the project may be stopped, right? The third one, user interaction and involvement is more. How correct? Yeah, it is the user interaction. User are involved throughout the project from the beginning to end. So it is more user involvement are there. So the project may be fully satisfied with the user. Less chance of error during the system design, right? However, the all the users are to be participated or to be involved during the design of the system and during the development of the system. So they can be guide, they can be demand, right, what they want. The developer can be note it or the developer can be include in front of them or to be consider their requirements, their needs. What is the disadvantage? So every things have two phases, advantages and disadvantages. Similarly, the prototyping model is not be exemptions from this. Because of quick design, it will be less focus on quality, right? So it is developed quickly, therefore it is to be less focus on quality. So the quality may not be considered, may be less focus, okay. Therefore due to the quick design, the quality may be degraded, okay. We go to the next methodology, which is a spiral model. These are very important questions, frequently asking any one of these questions, either waterfall model or spiral model or prototyping model. So except of the waterfall model, all are be iterative, which means non-sequential model. Waterfall model is the sequential model, but the spiral model is a non-sequential model. You see on the screen, the spiral model is a risk driven, where the process is represented as a spiral rather than a sequence of activities. However, it is very helpful to be risk analysis. It is for risk project. However, some of the project is very difficult to understand the requirement, understand the designing, understand very difficult to understand the processes. When that situations, the spiral model is very helpful. It include the best features from the waterfall and prototyping model and introduce a new components risk assessment. So it is a similar of waterfall model and prototyping model. The phases analysis, designing, testing, and maintenance. These quality control activities are the same, but one more important activities are to be included in this spiral model is risk assessment. We continue the words. Each loop in the spiral represented phase, thus the first loop might be concerned with the system feasibility, the next loop might be concerned with the next requirement definitions, the next loop with the system design, and so on. So you can see the diagram, it is clearly described. The first every phase of every end of the phase, the risk analysis is here in the first phase, which is requirements plan, the second phase which is development plan, next is test plan, and this every phase risk analysis is there, right? Risk analysis. Okay, prototype model, prototype 1, prototype 2, understand better understanding the requirement, right? Here in the risk analysis, in the first phase, requirements plan. So the developer has to be collect the requirements of the user, and every end of the phase it involved risk analysis. Right? Understand here risk analysis. So reviews are most important in every phase. Reviews, it may ask from the expertise which gives idea to avoid the risk and avoid the errors, right? And it goes to the after it completed the requirement phase, it goes to the next phase, which is a development phase. During the development phase, the design phase, the development of the system, the virtual development of the system, the data is to be implemented that are gathered from the user. After the end of this development phase, which is design phase, it involve in the risk analysis, and it asks the reviews from the expertise, how to solve this problem, how to avoid this risk from the system. In the finally, it goes to the unit testing, integration testing, and acceptance testings. So a project which is divided into numbers of pieces, and every piece of the project is to be tested and uncover the errors. This is known as an unit testing. What is the integration testing? All the units are combined together and run together. Some errors, data structures errors or design errors may be reflected in that phase. So those that errors to be uncovered by the tester. Last one is an acceptance testing. The system is put on the user side. The user may be found the errors. The user may wants to be change the requirements, the needs, or include, delete the requirements. So the testers are to be delete or add the requirements. That means change the requirements. Finally, the system is go to the acceptance test. After this acceptance, it goes to the maintenance phase. Okay, here you see you can look at on the screen. Each loop in the spiral model is split into the 4 sectors. Objective setting, the objectives and risk for that phase of the project are defined. The objectives means the requirements has to be defined. In the second phase, so it is in 4 sectors. The second sector which says risk assessment and reduction. For each of the identified project risk and detailed analysis is conducted and step taken reduce the risk. So every end of the phase it should be goes to the risk analysis. Understand, the development and validations is a type of testing. The last one, the spiral model has been very helpful people to help to the people think about iterations, means non-sequential in the software process, and introducing the risk driven approach to the development in the practice. However, the model is rarely used. This model is rarely used. It may required, it may need more cost to develop a system. Understand, so some advantages are there in the spiral model. Risk handling is one of the important advantages in the spiral model. So it is the best development model to follow due to the risk analysis and risk handling at every phase. However, what is a risk? It is an error, or it have some difficulties. So when that situation for that project can be developed. Okay, this spiral model is an very useful for this. The second one flexibility in the requirement. In this model we can be easily change the requirements at later. It can be represented accurately. Also additional functionality can be added at a later date. However, whenever the user wants, whenever the user need to add or to change the requirements, it may be accept. The spiral model may be accept, but waterfall model is not be accept. However, it is a sequential model. After ending one phase, the next phase will be begin. Unless of ending the phase, the previous phase, it will not begin the next phase, right? So but here in the spiral model, whenever the user wants, whenever the user needs, the requirements may be added or deleted. The next point which stated, it is good for large and complex product. It is good for large and complex project. The third one, the next point which is it is good for customer satisfactions. We can be involve customer in the development of the product at yearly phase of the software development. Also software is produced yearly in the software life cycle. However, in the beginning or in the risk project, it is very helpful to development of the product. The next point is strong approval and the documentation control. Next point which is refer, it is suitable for high risk project where business needs may be unstable. A highly customized product can be developed using this. Correct. However, it is a good for high risk project because of the business requirements may be unstable. It is not be clear. For that situations, this spiral model is very helpful, right? We go to the disadvantages of the project. However, everything has advantages and disadvantages. Similarly, this spiral model is not be exemption from this. The what is the disadvantage? The first disadvantage which is it is not suitable for small project as it is an expensive. Already I said that the spiral model which is a very expensive, therefore it is not suitable for a small project. The second point, it is much more complex than SDLC model. Process is very complex. However, the software development life cycle model, It is very complex. SDLC means software development life cycle model. It is more complex than the software development life cycle model, so it is very difficult to be understand. Okay, the next one, too much dependable on the risk and record high specific expertise. So it is it solve risk analysis, and it is for risk project, therefore it required a highly expertise to solve this risk and to construct the project. Similarly, difficult in time management, as the number of the phases is unknown at the start of the project, so time estimation is very difficult, right? So here it is a unknown phases, however it doesn't have clear requirement, so it is not fulfill the demand, fulfill the design, so is this also be unclear, therefore the time of the project, the completed time, the end time, it is very difficult to be estimation. Next phase, which is spiral, may go indefinitely. Understand, we don't know when it will be delivered the project, so the accurate time, the time may not be definite. The next one, end of the project may not be known yearly, so the time, the end of the project, when it will be end, so it is unknown. It is not suitable for low risk project, because of it is for a highly risk project, because it record more cost. Next one, may be hard to define the objective verifiable milestones, large number of intermediate stages required to excessive documents. So it is the objectives, the verification, the testing, the designing, which are to be numbers of the stages is required, so the documents may be increased. Here we discussed two methodologies, prototyping model and spiral model. In the previous sessions we discussed a waterfall model. With these three models, with these three methodologies, the software development process model topic is over. We go to the next unit, unit 2. In the next we will be continue unit 2 in the next session. Thanks for watching this video.